So being in the right place at the right time, it can be convenient or sometimes it can be really critical. On this particular United Express flight, it was convenient. I was in seat 1A, and it's one of those little planes. Only got 3 seats across and whatnot, and it was delayed, and I had a connection that was going to be tight. So being up front and being able to get off was really, really important. And it was also convenient because the flight attendant was right next to me in the galley, and given that I had this super secret frequent flyer status with United Global Access, she was just fawning all over me and giving me extra pretzels and lots of Diet Coke. And she gave me so much Diet Coke that by the time we landed, the fact that I was delayed, or that this flight was delayed and I had a tight connection, was not nearly as important as finding the restroom. When you travel a lot, one of the things that's nice is you know the airports, you know the planes, you know how things operate. But I had not been to Charlotte, and I had no clue how it was set up or where the restrooms were, and I needed to go. And I got off that plane, looking, and I see it, and I made a beeline for it. And I don't know. I mean, I think this is true for guys. I assume it's true for guys. I'm not sure about for girls. But, when you have to go really badly and you actually start to, that change from the pain of your bladder being full to sort of the absence of pain or pleasure of finally emptying it, apparently in this bathroom, I made some sort of noise related to the fact that I had reached that point. And then I thought I was alone, and then I heard this voice 2 stalls over go, "That was impressive." I don't usually have conversations with people in public restrooms. I do talk to my wife in ours, but this was just really disconcerting. And impressive is not a word that you would want to use in the bathroom with a stranger. But the worst part about it was this voice was the voice of a woman. And I'm thinking, when the hell is a woman doing in the men's room? And my brain is sort of regaining focus from finding the restroom to realizing this restroom is really clean. This restroom smells really good. This restroom doesn't have urinals. That's why it smells really good. It smells like women. It's the women's room. I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. I really had to go. Voice from 2 stalls over. That was apparent. And then, to make matters worse, this giggling starts like 2 stalls over on that side. And I'm surrounded, and it's like, okay, now what? So we work out a plan, which basically is they're going to stay put, and I'm going to leave really quickly. And that way, we're not going to have this kind of awkward interaction of actually seeing each other. And so I get out the stall door, and I'm zipping for the terminal, for the exit to go out the terminal, and I froze. I worked for a very conservative company that had a very strict safety policy, and they would drill into you that you needed to think about what is the worst that could happen. And unfortunately, my brain just was like going, you're about to exit the women's room at the Charlotte airport. What's the worst that could happen? And I had this vision of a Girl Scout troop coming off of a plane, heading for the bathroom. And it was like, and I decided I had a choice. I could either go forward or I could go back into the restroom. And I figured I'd be a hell of a lot better out if I was out on the concourse. And so out the door I went, and I ran into nobody. There was nobody there. No Girl Scouts, just this one guy. And he's staring at me, and he's waiting on one of the women that's in the bathroom, and he's looking at me like, well, he goes, "You just came out of the women's room." And it was like, yeah, I did. It's really clean. It's very nice. And he's about to, I think, continue with the interrogation when a voice behind me goes, sometimes you just have to go. And, any chance at anonymity was shot because my second stall over voice was now a person staring at me. And I apologized, and she said, "Don't worry about it, just go." And I did. I went off down the terminal thinking to myself, the kindness of strangers, and that whole, that thing about not asking, asking forgiveness as opposed to asking permission. That is not a good call with public restrooms. Public restrooms, you want to be in the right place at the right time.